What is up? What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? I'm hoping everybody is happy, having fun, learning. YouTube is easy, it's fun. It's a lot of little steps. Just take your time and do the steps, and we're going to talk about all that in this video. She made $13,000 on YouTube in her first year, starting at 50. She started at 50 years old. Wow. So if you're talking about retiring, you're thinking about retiring, YouTube is the answer. YouTube is the secret answer, and I'm going to talk about that right after this intro. Let's check it out.
Growth's got a formula most never learn. You don't need luck or talent, structure is earned. If you're ready to build and you know it's your turn, start with the 4 free videos. Earn as you learn. Click on the more below to sign up.
That's right, guys. That is right. That is right. Click on our links below. Sign up for our 4 free videos that give you a bird's eye view of why you should be starting a YouTube channel, why you should be taking it serious, why you should be trying to make it into a business, especially if you're about to retire or you have already retired. Oh my gracious, I love it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. She made $13,000 on YouTube in her first year. I'm Uncle Mike. Let me introduce myself to the new people. I got 3 YouTube channels. One of them has reached over 500,000 subscribers. Everybody talk about the subscribers, but the big secret is you need to make income different ways other than the ad revenue in these big numbers. And we're going to talk about all that. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check it out. Here we go, y'all.
She started YouTube in her 50s. She told me she only spent about $100 on her whole tech setup and is about to hit 30,000 subscribers. And she just started last year.
I did a 30-day challenge before I ever did my first video, film and edit challenge. So every day I would just talk about something, then I would go edit it. I started as a side hustle with the intention of making it my full-time gig.
I want to know about what did YouTube pay her, the video strategy that gained her these thousands of subscribers, maybe most importantly, an honest take as a midlife creator, as someone who started this as a side hustle. Like, what does your week look like to do this? So if you've ever wondered, is YouTube worth it? And especially if you're starting later in life, I'm pumped to introduce you to Carrie. Carrie, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm so stoked. This is going to be a good conversation. So a couple quick questions here because, you know, we've gotten to hang out on a couple coaching calls together, but just so our audience, hey, gets a feel for where you're at. What is your channel about? Like, what are you doing with your channel right now? My
purpose is to help women over 50 to identify their purpose and live it with passion. That's my main focus.
Okay. I love it. You're already hitting on one of the points we're going to get to, which is clarity, which is like, I love it. You know who you're trying to reach, which is awesome. And what's your current upload schedule like right now? Like 1 a week, 2 a week? Where are you at?
I consistently always hit 1 a week. If I get time where I can do more, I'd love to do twice a week. But right now it's been once a week.
Awesome. And has it always been like that? Have you always aimed for once a week since you started?
No, I went through periods where I did twice a week, and I got a little burnt out doing that big, and so I went back to once a week. And I would like to add a little more informal video a week that doesn't take as much effort as my weekly videos do. But
okay, well, maybe we can talk about that. I'd love to hear what your thoughts on that are. I'm also curious, really quick. So you got long form videos coming out. Have you messed around with shorts at all? Short form content? What's your stance there?
I did, and Melody wants me to do more.
Shout out, Coach Melody.
Yeah, my thing is when I did it originally, it kind of tanked my channel a little bit for a time.
No way. Okay.
And it took a lot of work to make $2.74.
From shorts.
Yes.
Okay.
So the motivation.
I try to tell everybody about them shorts. And to me, just to let you guys know, shorts on YouTube is equivalent to TikTok videos. They scroll, they watch, they scroll, they watch, they scroll. These are people that don't have long attention spans. You don't want them people. You want people who watch long content. And I break that down too also.
Patient.
Yes. To get back at it might take some convincing. So, and are you editing yourself or do you have people that help you?
Yes, I'm still editing myself, and I get emails and comments just about every day from people telling me they could do it better, and they're right.
You've got people reaching out.
We get that also. In your emails and stuff, you're going to get all kinds of people reaching out. The big secret is don't get fooled by these people. Learn. Don't take no shortcuts. Try to learn everything yourself. If somebody leading with, I can make your CEO, your titles better, your thumbnails better, and pay me. They want money first before they prove what they doing. Just say no. You can learn and do it yourself. Help me learn this. Are you willing to help me first? If they're not willing to help you first, because there's a lot of them out there, man. I think about every week we get about 10 of them. Hey, Uncle Mike, I seen your videos, man. Your channel doing great and everything, but I can help you, man. Your thumbnails and your title, man, it's not search engine friendly. Hello. We already got people doing that and they doing the best they can. You got to just rely on your team. Everybody think they can do better. Here we go.
Yes, I'm still editing myself, and I get emails and comments just about every day from people telling me they could do it better, and they're right.
You got people reaching out. They're like, hey, I could really help. That's awesome, though. That's encouraging. You're doing it yourself. And then real quick, like, do you remember how long it took you to hit that initial monetization point with YouTube? Like when you got 1,000 subscribers and you hit the 4,000 hours of watch time. Do you remember how long that was?
Of course I remember. I remember that more than every other step.
Fill us in. What was it? How fast?
1,000 subscribers. I released my first video August 26th of 2024.
Okay.
I hit 1,000 subscribers on October 15th while I was in Seacrest, Florida. And I hit monetization officially on Halloween, but YouTube didn't acknowledge it until Election Day.
No way. You've got these literal dates that are marking your journey.
I can tell you about every moment of each of those 3 days.
Oh my goodness. I believe it.
It was that important to me.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you first got that? Okay. The initial monetization there, when you found out you hit the metrics, and then from when you got the approval from YouTube, I mean, what did it feel like?
Well, first of all, it was very validating. And it was so amazing to call my kids and tell them, because my goal had been January. And they were both like, Mom, I don't want you to be brokenhearted when you don't hit that. Like, that's not normal to monetize that quickly.
That's right.
So to monetize in less than 10 weeks, I was very excited to call them.
I bet you were like, hey, look what happened. And I bet the reaction was just awesome. I bet that was pure
they were so excited and could not believe it. Like, even, just the other day I was telling my son how many views I've had. And he was like, Mom.
I love this dynamic. What is it like for you to talk to your son, about like your YouTube channel? Like, how is that? Is it, I don't even know. Like, is that a fun dynamic, or do they kind of poke fun? Do they get it? They think it's cool?
Yeah, my son, he's an amazing filmmaker, and he's very gifted tech. He is the only person in our family that's gifted tech wise.
Okay, good to have in your pocket. Yeah, let's go.
And I'll never forget, I was in Florida when I hit the 1,000 subscribers, when he called me and he's like, Mom, you got to change I forget what it is in iMovie about the quality of the video that goes out. He said, you're in the wrong number. So he told me the right number and I changed it. And so that did affect how my videos look when I upload them. So
amen. See, learn as you go. I don't understand why this is so difficult for people. Learn as you go. She was probably filming in 720. And later on she found out that what's a 720 and a 1080? Mom, you need to change this. Yeah. So learn as you go. Because guess what? No matter what, you're growing up. All you got to do is start. Pick up your phone. That's simple. Put it on the video. Instead of taking pictures, you're going to do a video and hit record. You just started a YouTube channel. Next step is starting to upload your videos. The next step, what the problem is, everybody want to hit the record button and go viral. They want to go viral right then and there. Well, I do too. But that ain't going to happen. So start working and learning how to run a real YouTube channel the right way. Stop guessing.
So, yeah, it's great having somebody like that, you know.
I love it. Well, I just love it already. I just hope you're hearing, Think podcast. If you're like, wow, okay, so 10 weeks. Yeah, that is abnormally quick. Also, though, can we jump into really quick, like your setup, your tech setup? So, because you got monetized. Yeah. I said at the top, like you told me just before we started recording, you're like, I spent like $100 on your setup. What did you spend the $100 on?
Yeah, that's funny. I got a phone stand.
Okay.
Phone stand.
I got a box light and my first cheap microphone.
Wow. All for under $100.
Oh yeah. Everything under $100. I already had my phone. So I just was filming on my phone.
I had a lapel mic that I used because I got top of the line mics in the studio and stuff. This mic right here, I was using this for a little while. I got a little candy sound, but it was doing a good job. $35. This is you can get this on Amazon for $18 now. No affiliate link or anything. You can take a little bit of money, man. I suggest you take about $200 or $300 and just buy the equipment that you need. I had a lapel mic that I used for almost a whole year. And that lapel mic was $24, guys. This stuff is not hard. Y'all just want to make it hard. I'm not saying buy a $500 microphone. You don't need this type of microphone in the beginning to start. I'll call you back. The microphone that we're suggesting is an $89 microphone.
First cheap microphone.
Wow. All for under $100.
Oh yeah. Everything under $100. I already had my phone. So I just was filming on my phone and I already had my MacBook Pro. So
okay, right. Already had the computer, already had your phone. So filming on your phone. That's pretty strategic. So you went for lighting, audio, and like stabilization. You got like just something to put your phone on to be able to film with. Okay.
I also bought like a gimbal thing that I still have never used because I don't know how. Because I am that not tech savvy. Like
that's fair. It's another thing you can hang out with your son and be like, okay, teach me about this gimbal thing. Yeah, that's right. Man, that's very cool. And that's the setup. The $100 setup got you monetized in 10 weeks.
Yes.
And are you still using that same setup?
Exactly what I did upgrade my mic and I didn't upgrade it enough. I'm going to upgrade again on my mic. But
so you want to go when you say like didn't upgrade it enough, like you want something like even better, or like instead of just
still
like
just makes. I have long hair.
Yeah.
So it like hits.
Brushes against.
Yeah, and I need to find a different setup because of that. Go. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So even here, just about to hit 30K subs, it's that same setup basically. You've upgraded some audio, but still on your phone.
Yeah, my husband keeps saying, you should switch to a camera. I'm like, ugh.
That's because you know this. Yeah, you know this. Yeah.
Don't mess up with my world here. Like, this is my world. I know this world.
Yes, for real.
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up and have to learn something new.
Oh man, that's huge. There's a number of creators that are actually you might even be familiar with inside the community. Kayla from His Word My Walk. I think Dr. Jamie Morgan as well, who are using their phone and are have got tens of thousands of subscribers. It's the same setup. I was just on a call with Kayla. Hopefully it's cool to say this. And she's like, yeah, I got an iPhone 12, and she's like on her way to a silver play button. So it's just, I love it. You're just living proof, like start with what you have. Yeah. It's encouraging to hear you spent $100 on your setup and that was it, and you were able to get monetized. And so now here's the thing though, I want to shift gears to the conversation to talk about, okay, cool. There's a little bit of tech. I appreciate you filling this in on your world. We're going to go deeper into numbers and what this first year really looked like for you. But I do want to shift into, okay, you can spend the money on gear, but just because you get the gear, even if instead of spending 100, you spend 1,000, great. You got really good gear, but that's not all it takes to get a YouTube channel monetized, right? Yeah. We have to think about video strategy and all the good things. So in light of that, I wanted to reveal to you something that I'm affectionately calling the carry on cycle. And this is for also the viewers as well. This is inspired by Carrie's channel. At the end of her videos, she encourages her viewers. She's got like a branding sign off, and she's like encourages her viewers to carry on, right? Riff off your name, of course. It's the name of your coaching. But so this is the carry on cycle, and I'll share it here on the screen really quick so we can go through this together. And so, hey, if you're listening, no big deal. We're going to talk about it. But if you're able to check it out on the channel, Think Media Podcast channel, this would be something to definitely write down and take notes. So as we look at this, there are 5 things. And of course, we were just talking before recording, we both love frameworks, right? So of course, there are 5 C's for carry on. It's the carry on cycle. 5 things, 5 C's that I think explain why your channel worked and why a lot of channels work, but also as an encouragement, if like other midlife creators were kind of to copy this pattern, copy these 5 things that I know you really care about and that a lot of successful creators care about. I think it'll really help move the needle for folks. And so if you're cool with it, I just love to jump into this first one, which is credibility. And the reason I start here is because, well, this could be why someone's listening right here. And I know that you've actually just recently dropped videos on your channel talking about your YouTube journey openly, like sharing numbers, sharing the ups and sharing the downs. And so I can't recommend your channel enough for people to go check out what you're doing, Carry On Coaching, and you can check out some of her YouTube videos walking through things. But something that I appreciate you starting with is like is proof. You know, like in these videos when you're encouraging other people to take on YouTube as a side hustle, it's like, and a lot of us start this way. We ask the question, is it worth it? Will it work? Is it still possible? And so if you don't mind, I'd love to dive into this a little bit. Like, hey, you know, what are some things you can share about last year? Like, and we can take this however direction you want, but I'd love for you to be able to share with our audience, like, hey, a little bit of credibility. Like, hey, you had your first year on YouTube, not just the subscriber metrics, but if you're open to talking about dollar amounts, like how much YouTube paid you, wherever you want to kick us off.
I told you earlier, I wasn't going to even do that video about how much YouTube paid me because I thought, is that, talk money? I don't know.
Yeah, a little tacky. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah.
But my surprisingly top video for the year last year with over 200,000 views, so very viral for me, was 25 profitable side hustles for women over 50. And in that video, I only shared things that either I myself have done or people that I personally know are doing and profiting from. And so when I didn't want to do that video releasing how much I had made, I thought, I kind of owe this to my audience, because when I recorded that video, I was a baby on YouTube, and so I didn't really have much I could talk about with YouTube for the side hustle thing. So I felt a responsibility to share because it fell within my parameters of how much you need to make for a side hustle. And my rule is you have to be able to make at least $500 to $1,000 a month to have a good side hustle.
I love that. That's a really helpful number. I think a lot of people might think it needs to be a lot more.
But you can grow. But if you can get something that's doing that, you can grow from that. Like
100%.
The numbers I share in my video on how much I made on YouTube, I'm strictly talking AdSense on YouTube. I didn't share any numbers from Amazon, coaching, anything outside of that. I only shared what I was making, from YouTube. And so that itself justified the side hustle.
Okay. And so would you mind sharing what did you, I didn't know that it was just YouTube. What did just YouTube pay you last year from AdSense?
$1,119.96, I think.
Look at you. Do you have a photographic memory?
No. My husband thinks I do.
He's like, wow. So, wow. Okay. For your first full year on YouTube,
right?
$13,000. Like that absolutely qualifies as side hustle money. That's amazing. Yeah. And how did that feel to hit that marker? Because I believe with your story, like you actually started YouTube. Did you want YouTube to be a side hustle? Was that your initial reason to jump in? One of our secret weapons for YouTube success at Think Media has been vidIQ. They make it super easy to come up.
Yeah, vidIQ, that's something that we need to start talking about that. We probably talk about it next week. vidIQ.
/think. Again, that's vidIQ.com/think. All right, back to the episode.
It was a side hustle to start because I was still working in a boutique as my empty nest job.
Okay.
And I'm a coach and a trainer. So I had that. But I started as a side hustle with the intention of making it my full-time gig. So
wow. This is huge.
And so YouTube replaced my empty nest job in July. I left that.
Wow. Congratulations. That is absolutely awesome. Okay. So I do want to quickly jump in, just thinking about like who could be listening. So when you hear YouTube side hustle, what do you think? And honestly, Kara, you're in a very cool spot. Like you're working with a lot of people who are starting to do this kind of stuff, you know, midlife. And what's a realistic expectation? What do you tell people? So we've got this kind of like number between $500 and extra $500 to $1,000 a month. And then what's kind of a realistic timeline do you give people? Like how do you coach people around that?
I think that depends on the person.
Okay.
Too. You know, I came into this, I studied Sean like months. Months before I ever started my channel. I mean, I was studying everything Think Media put out. I utilized everything free from Think Media for a long time. So I was like setting myself up for success. And I think
that's huge.
I think a lot of people will just jump in and not really have a plan and not be prepared. And one of my big things is when I started, it was like, I am committed. Like when I got married, it was the only end to this is death.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
And so that has like made us have to work through things in our marriage because there's no other options, you know? So when I came into YouTube, it was the same thing. I'm like, okay, I'm marrying you. And the only way out of this is death, the death of YouTube. That's like,
that's how you got to look at it. I am going to win at this. I'm not going to lose at it. I spent a lot of time in it because I'm a hard-headed learner. Don't be a hard-headed learner. 7 years. It took 5 years for me to figure this whole thing out. Got a formula and kept rolling with it. It took me 5 years to figure it out. It didn't take her that long.
And you know,
I love this phrasing. This is great.
So, you know, I came in ready. Like my first initial commitment was 3 years or 156 videos. It didn't matter if I was profiting, if I was failing, like whatever. I could not quit for 3 years or 156 videos.
Wow. Okay. So that's huge.
That's
amazing. You decided that before you even started. You just like gave yourself a marker.
Yeah, because I'm very ADHD. And so, you know, squirrel, spark, like
totally.
So I really wanted to stay focused. I didn't want it to be something else that I quit, you know? And so I just made that commitment. And so quitting has never been an option. So even when we first talked originally, I was in the biggest dip. Like, I mean, I was in a dip and I was so discouraged and not hopeful at all, you know, but I couldn't quit.
Yeah. Cause you had made this decision. Wow. Okay. So I definitely want to get to that. And I want to hear about how you navigated that because that is so real for anybody, no matter your age, actually, right? Like doing YouTube, you will hit the wall. You will hit that point where you need to decide to keep going or get out. What a helpful thing that I'm hearing you're teaching me right now is like, oh, maybe a better question instead of saying, how soon until I get results from this YouTube thing is like, how long am I willing to do this YouTube thing? You know what I mean? Like it's that posture of obviously wanting goals, seeing things. There's a vision for the other side of this YouTube channel being successful. But I love your mentality of like, okay, like how long am I going to do this? Like, how's my commitment here? And I do appreciate the soundbite of marrying YouTube. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
You know? Well, hey, the second C here is clickability. And so I love, it's a perfect segue into now we're talking about titles. We're talking about thumbnails. We're talking about video structure even. And I know you've learned a lot here and you have a lot of success here, like for real. And I'm sure it's from the other side of learning a lot of things, which is what I want to unpack. But the game of YouTube as a coach, I'll say just about each and every week, it's like you have got to learn to be clickable. That's how you went on YouTube, is what is your title? What is your thumbnail? How does that represent an idea that someone you're after, your audience would actually want to click on and engage with and watch? And I know this conversation could go a lot of different places, but as you've helped people, the things you've learned about the game of YouTube, making content that gets clicks, what have been some of your biggest lessons or insights?
I didn't realize how bad I was at titles and thumbnails till I met with Sam.
Okay.
And now, you know how you can't unsee something, once you realize where you're going wrong, you can't unsee it. Like even preparing for today, I went on the other day and just pulled up my top 12 videos. And my first viral for me that had 24,000 videos, it's the one that got me monetized. And that was 10 Things I Quit After the Age of 50. That thumbnail jumped out at me. I'm like, that stinks. Like, how have I not fixed that? Like, so I went in yesterday and changed it.
No way.
And I even shortened the title because that's changed on YouTube now too. So now I made it like, less than 25 characters in the title, and I just changed up the thumbnail a little bit, and maybe it'll get some more steam. But
that's huge.
People don't realize how hard you have to work at that, because my video that I just released on my first full year on YouTube, I've had a lot of YouTubers commenting, and of course I believe in being very interactive with your community. So I'm going to their channels, I'm looking at their channels, and I'm giving them feedback. And the biggest feedback I've had to give over and over again, it's your titles and thumbnails. It's your titles and thumbnails.
Spoken like a true YouTube coach. It's titles and thumbnails. Yeah, man. Okay. So the ability that you have now to kind of go back and change a title and thumbnail, like what have you learned about your audience specifically? That like, what kind of stuff did they click on now? Like when you think about an upcoming video, do you have like a mental checklist now of like, okay, I'm going to make sure that the title's this sort of way, the thumbnail's this sort of way. Do you have any of those kind of rules for yourself and your audience?
Yeah, well, they prefer when I'm smiling.
Interesting.
Which is really hard when you have a video like I have coming up this week. I sent Melody my thumbnail yesterday. I'm like, I'm not liking this. And she goes, oh, no, don't post that.
What's the topic?
It's on your improving your nervous system.
Oh, okay.
And so it was advised that I look serious, but, I have the answers. Well, my face, if it's not smiling, it just looks angry. I don't know.
Oh, no. I'm so curious. Have you and Melody like tested this? Are you doing any thumbnail testing or or you just noticed
she wants to. Yeah. That's why I have to send her new photos after this. But so I've learned that people prefer when I'm smiling. And after trying to edit that picture yesterday, I realized why.
Fascinating. That's just so cool. Yeah. Well, I love that you're just like aware, and that's just a good insight for anyone, is just being aware of what works, because there's best practices for sure about like what makes a good thumbnail, what makes for a good title. But then what I'm learning even more is that then it comes down to really this kind of next C that we're going to be jumping into, which is community. And community, your audience, the people you're trying to reach, the reason you're on YouTube for.
The most important people.
And that your audience can determine what makes for a good title, a good idea, what even is worth creating, what they want to hear from you. And that can sometimes be brutal, because what we think is the video to make doesn't resonate. And sometimes it's the thing that we would have dismissed is the very thing that people need us to talk about. So I know you've built a really good community. And so I just want to hear about, as you think about your audience, as you think about your journey the last year, what have you learned when it comes to the audience's impact?
I've learned that you can think you know the answers, and a lot of times you just don't. So I thought, AI, right? AI's growing. And it's confusing for people in my age group. And it's a little scary for people like us. And I am married to a songwriter and gave birth to 2 songwriters. So all 3 of them are very nervous about what this is going to do for their craft. And so I thought, I'm going to do an AI series. And Melody said, And I was like, no, I'm doing it. And I did not listen to her. And I did a whole series and it failed. My audience they just would not watch it. And
really?
Yeah. And so I thought I was doing something useful and helpful, and it just did not go. And so you have to really be listening, and not just that, but I think part of it is being very vocal with them. You know, like I was very surprised yesterday. I commented on another YouTuber's channel, and I don't do this a lot. And I took the time to really give her a good comment. And all she did was hit the heart button.
Yeah.
And I thought, I would never do that.
Oh my God.
Like,
so you will hit back and I've seen you do this, but just for audience's sake, like describe your replying strategy. You try to hit all the comments.
I try to hit every comment. Now, if it's negative and hurtful.
Yeah. What do you do there?
I typically I will take it down if it's not beneficial. If it's negative about my channel, like my most complained video is my Amazon travel video. Okay. Which is also a very profitable video for me. It's done really well. But they're right. I've acknowledged how right they are. I'm a one-woman show. I can't zoom in and zoom out. And it was the biggest products I have ever shown.
Wow.
So I couldn't figure out how to do it. And they're right. It stunk in that way, you know? And so I've just said, you are so right. I'm so sorry. I'm a one-woman show. I'm working on this to improve in this area. And I think you'll find improvement in my future videos, you know? So I take constructive criticism and I always answer it. And then if you get a comment like that, I can't quite understand what they're trying to say. You know, sometimes people do, you know, voice to message type of things. Right. And so I'll take those and put them in chat. Yeah. And say, I'm not sure exactly what this means, but I want to respond back to
Fire
it.
Tip.
You know, and so chat will help me. And I do that. I do the same thing with negative comments that I do want to acknowledge.
Yeah.
And so I'll say, I want to respond kindly to this person. Could you help me to do that?
That's good.
And
Very
so
good.
that has been, you know, a great benefit, because otherwise I was spending hours dwelling on negative comments. And now that allows me to release it and let it go and not lose my energy on negativity.
Man, that's such a good tip. I love that. That's just applicable for anybody. Letting AI and it's a buffer. It buys you time. So you're not just, I don't know, just reacting in the moment and maybe saying something that really isn't you, or it was just emotional and you were kind of fighting fire with fire, so to speak. But having a buffer, that's a really good idea. I'm also curious, because I think this is a big concern for anyone starting YouTube, is there's definitely fear there. And I think part of the fear is like, what are people going to think? Or like, you know, putting myself out there, like on video. I'm curious, before we move on to the next C here, how was it for you getting on camera for like the first time and like beginning to film yourself? How'd that go?
I'm a performer, speaker, trainer. So like, so actually being on camera was harder.
Because you're just aware?
There's no audience. Like you don't get any feedback. And so that's why I did a 30-day challenge before I ever did my first video. I did a film and edit challenge. So every day I would just talk about something to my phone. Wow. And then I would go edit it. And
without posting?
Yeah. I just did a challenge for myself for 30 days. And that helped me to get more comfortable. It helped me also to learn.
It's called practice. That's the same thing I've been saying. All this is practice. Everybody doing the same thing that we're talking about.
And
without posting?
Yeah. I just did a challenge for myself for 30 days.
30 days.
That helped me to get more comfortable. It helped me also to learn about lighting. And things like that, because I had some, I was like, oh my goodness.
And
I learned
huge.
I learned where the quieter places in my house were and what time was the louder time to to film, and when I needed to close my windows because I live in Washington, so we have our windows open a lot.
State of Washington.
So things like that, I learned a lot doing that, and it got me more comfortable. And by the end of that 30 days, I learned, I look at the camera always, and I'm always making a video for somebody. It's always based on a talk or a coaching appointment I had or something I saw online. And so I'll look at the camera and I'll just go, "Hey, Nathan, how are you doing?" And then I start
filming.
Yeah.
Then you're into it. I love that. Okay. So just real quick before I move on, because this next C and the final one's pretty powerful, but I just want to hunker here for a second. You just gave two really cool cues for people. And this is something I've become more passionate about, Carrie, is this training season, training camp. Well, I mean, a lot of athletes don't just jump into game time. There's and even just jump into practice. There's like preseason conditioning. There's like stuff that you do before you even hit the field.
This is what I've been saying from day one. Name something you just jump into in this a hobby. Even swimming, you got to exercise and build up. Whatever it is you're doing, running track, you build up to it. You got to commit to it. You got to train first before you jump into the basketball team.
Training camp. Well, I mean, a lot of athletes don't just jump into game time. There's like, and even just jump into practice. There's like preseason conditioning. There's like stuff that you do before you even hit the field. It's usually in a gym. You're like tucked away. And so I'm thinking about what's the equivalent for someone who wants to be a content creator. It's what you just said. Hey, guess what? There's no rush. And at Think Media, Carrie, we're all about, I got the posters behind me, like just press record, punch fear in the face, get it out there. Done is better than perfect. We're all about that. At the same time, there could just be a benefit to taking a month and being like, I'm just going to go make like 5 videos and not even post them. I'm just going to make them for myself. Yeah. I'm going to like practice. Where's a good place to film? Being aware of sound. Just getting used to putting footage in my editor is just, that's just plenty, right? That could just take you a whole day to figure out. And so I love that approach of slowing things down and thinking about, what is your preseason conditioning as an aspiring content creator? Okay, if it's freaking you out to just jump on the platform right away, you don't have to, and here's even a next level step. You could film yourself, you could edit yourself, and then you could actually practice uploading to YouTube. You just make it unlisted or you make it private. It doesn't have to be public. And now you get used to that whole flow, putting in reps before you actually decide to go for it. That's genius.
Yeah. And I actually did end up making a video with that footage because people kept asking.
Right.
It. So
of that whole journey.
Yeah. So I did a video with it, and you can definitely see.
Oh, I love that.
And you got to remember, what you see is going to be something completely different from what other people see. You see all your little small mistakes. This is in the Bible. You see all the little twigs actually it's written like this. You see all the little twigs in other people's eyes, but you cannot get the logs out of your own eyes. You see what you see. But when somebody else look, they see something different. Just let it ride. Just let it ride, man.
That's so good. So good. Okay, so let's jump into this next C here. Number 4 is clarity. And what I meant by clarity, you can see there's a whole system going on here, right? Like getting people to click requires you to be aware of your audience and what you're doing on the platform. To be aware of your audience and what you're doing on the platform, you got to be clear. You have to have clarity about, I think, a lot of different things for sake of the conversation today. I think I'd love to hear, because I know all of our journeys when we start something are usually messy. They're usually not streamlined, and they're not really pretty to try to describe. But hearing you, it just sounds like you're pretty intentional when you were starting and what you were trying to do. So I'm curious, like, how much clarity did you have at the beginning? And then what are some things that helped you get even more clear along the way when it came to your audience and when it came to the videos you'd make?
Yeah, I rebelled against niching down. I did. I really struggled with that because before YouTube, as a coach, my specialty was upper level management and entrepreneurs. So I had coached male, female, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see why I couldn't
do both.
Keep that same perspective going into YouTube. And then I did some more focused videos as a woman over 50. And it was Sam who realized every time I had women over 50 or after 50 kind of thing, my videos did better. So he said, let's run that into the ground until it doesn't work anymore.
Strong, strong coaching. Yep.
So as I started like seeing that, I realized, okay, I had a lot of men in the community.
Yeah.
But I started realizing, no, I needed to hit the people that I fully understand the most and just share my life experience. Because one of the areas where you get a lot of clarity is choosing your 3 pillars. And, you know, my 3 pillars are money, wellness, and mindset, because those are my obsessions. Those are the things that I can talk about all the time and I fully believe in.
So when you say 3 pillars, you're talking about your content strategy. Like when you make a video, it would fall into one of those 3.
It has to fall into one of those or all 3. I will not do. That's why my middle pillar, because I like continuity, my middle pillar used to be money, movement, and mindset. And I just recently changed it to wellness because I realized I want to talk about hormones for women over 50, the nervous system, improving your HRV, like all the things that I'm doing to make my life better after 50. I want to talk about that. And that doesn't necessarily fall under movement, you know.
Yeah,
but
it's a broader
movement
category.
is still part of wellness.
That's right. Wow.
So, so I changed it, but I won't do a video on anything that doesn't fall into one of those buckets.
This is real strong because a big thing that a lot of people run into, and especially when coaching creators, and my goodness, you as a coach too, you would run into this too as well, is imposter syndrome, right? Is this like, who am I to talk about X, Y, and Z? Who am I to like record on a camera and talk about how I figured out something, you know? And that's like a really big deal. So how did you narrow it down? And maybe even how do you help people navigate imposter syndrome, midlife creator, when really I would argue like you have a lot of experience. Like if you're getting on YouTube and you're wanting to create content and you're like over 50, even in your 60s, we have someone in our community, I don't know if you know her, Sally, who is in her late 60s and she monetized her YouTube channel. She's like talking about gardening, right? And she's probably the best person to talk about it because she has so much experience. I think it's a real advantage. There is a big advantage for creators that are jumping in later in life. But how do you help people navigate that imposter syndrome?
Well, it's funny because even doing this interview today, I felt like, who am I?
No way. Yeah.
You know, like
it's real talk.
People who have built faster and bigger and all that. But I've realized that's because that's who I compare myself to. So that's what I think. Yeah. But when I'm on VRA calls and things, I realize, wow, there are so many people on those calls who are wishing they could have my channel.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so it's just where your eyes are, you know, like, so the way I see things, I'm looking for those people who are growing fast. Right.
Yeah.
And so
right.
I'm chasing the wind right behind them, trying to get that tailwind.
Yeah, that's right.
And, yeah. I forgot where I was going with that.
Oh yeah, no, it's so good though. So like, because you said that you felt like you almost had imposter syndrome right here. So it's something you're still dealing with. Maybe is that what you're getting at? Like it doesn't really go away, or
and so I think it's something we always deal with, and I think it keeps you humble. So which is a good thing. But I mean, I'm watching a guy right now who started a channel in July. He does no editing. He has thumbnails with nothing on them, just his picture. He's in a sweatshirt, maybe sometimes a baseball cap. Like, there's nothing special
I love it.
about this guy. And he has over 3 million views. He's almost at 100,000 subscribers.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm just like, what? But that's one of my big lessons lately, though, is I had a revelation recently where I was so focused because, you know, I'm an 80s gal, so we're very driven on we want the trophy. We want to earn the trophy.
Hey, yeah.
We don't like that whole non-earning your trophy. We don't like that.
Yes.
But so I want my stinking plaque. I want my play button. And, so I'm just like always so driven. I need my viral video. I need this. I need this. And all of a sudden, one day I was in my prayer time, and I'm like, I kept just sensing this question: are you ready?
Wow.
Have you prepared for rain? And I was like, I'm not.
Whoa.
Like, I don't have, like, if I had a viral video tomorrow, I would have regrets because I don't have this in place. So I just got a piece of paper out and I started writing it all down. Like, what would I regret? Because based on my RPM, on my average, I would make like $13,000 on a 1 million view video.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. Not bad. Nothing to stick your nose up to at all. Of course. But if I had that and I had a $7 downloadable product and I had my coaching landing page up and I had memberships set up on my YouTube channel, like all these extra things, or maybe I had a brand deal on that video, I would regret. I would be leaving like tens of thousands of dollars on the table with that. So I called Melody.
Yes, come on.
And I said, okay, here's my list. This is the stuff you can help me with. And this is the stuff only I can do. Because some of them were personal. Like, I want to be stronger physically, mentally, emotionally, because I know bigger videos mean more hate. Right?
Yeah.
So I want to be able to handle that without tanking my nervous system. I would like my house in better order. I'd like to be a month ahead on my content so that I can take the time to respond to all the comments, to do everything I need to do. And so it gave me such clarity that I was just like, man, here I've been. My eyes have been so focused on that play button and that viral video that I wasn't preparing my fields for rain. I wasn't I didn't have what I needed in place. I'm just going by the skin of my teeth every week. And so now I'm focusing on getting my systems in place in my business and in my home.
Wow.
And so that I can have that clarity of purpose so that I can help. Because my goal since I was a teenager, since I read Norma Vincent Peale's Why Some Positive Thinkers Get Powerful Results.
Hey, yeah.
My mother gave it to me when I was 17. And ever since then, I have wanted to be a motivational person, an inspirational speaker, a person who impacts the world in a positive way and leaves a lasting impact that remains for generations. That's what I've wanted my entire adult life. And so if I want that, the fields have to be ready for rain, right?
So good. I mean, just like, thank you for sharing wisdom. This is what I'm talking about. Like, there's just so much, there's a wealth of wisdom there. And I just appreciate you sharing, because this is clarity. Like, this is this piece. And even hearing you still processing in real time, still fighting to be clear and still learning things is actually just encouraging that there's no destination you finally arrive at. It's like, it's just this ever going thing of trying to become clear, which brings more clarity, having the posture to become more clear and learn things. Right.
Right.
I really appreciate you sharing that. I'd love to shift into, before we land the plane here, on our final C, which is arguably probably the most important, that ties everything together.
Okay.
I would love to hear about your money plan. You teased there a little bit about having like a $7 thing, or like basically architecting a business around your YouTube channel. And I'd actually love for you to share a little bit about that, because I think part of clarity is having a money plan. At least at Think Media, that's how we're trying to help people, right? Is like, you can, it's cool if YouTube pays you, and the YouTube partner program is great. Like, sure. But there's actually a lot more opportunity that you could take advantage of, or that you could capitalize on, or just be aware of by making a YouTube video. So I wonder if you wouldn't mind sharing, what are some ways you've been able to monetize and bring in income that isn't necessarily from the YouTube partner program, like not just AdSense?
Here we go.
Well, one thing I learned this year from AdSense, it's not dependable.
Yeah, there we go.
When you go from $2,600 a month to 300.
Okay. Yes.
Ouch.
The volatility is real.
Ouch. Like that hurt.
Wow. I think it's been over a year ago. I think right after Christmas. This is, exactly about a year ago. YouTube took a major drop in ad revenue, and everybody, I was watching new videos and everything. Everybody took a big drop in the money. Basically, I couldn't figure out what was going on, man. I panicked. I really panicked. I was like, ouch. And from that day on, it taught me how to use the other 6 ways of making income. You got to make this a stabilized business. Don't rely on that ad revenue, man. That will kill you. Here we go.
That hurt so bad.
Yeah, it hurt me
so
too.
Painful. And so I realized I can't have all my eggs in that basket.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been purposing to have like free downloadable things. And so then Melody said to me, okay, that's great. You're so sweet. Now you have spent 5 decades building your experience, and your life lessons. So they're valuable. So let's turn those into something. So our first goal that we're finishing up this week is a $7 downloadable product.
Love it.
Which will then move into a $49 downloadable product, which will then lead people, and that will build trust with them, and that will lead them to a coaching program,
With
which,
Yeah.
because I deal with health issues. I have, chronic, I was bedridden 10 years ago. So, I have to take really good care of myself, which is a full-time job too. But
it's good.
Because of that, Melody's concerned I take on too many single coaching clients.
It's a good coach there.
Yeah. So she's trying to move me to a position of group coaching.
Yeah.
To conserve my energy and time. And things.
More one-to-many activities.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody goes into stuff like this for a different reason. Like for me, my kids were my primary caretakers when I was sick. And now they both have college debt, because of taking care of their mom, because I was too sick to produce any income. And I cost a lot. My illness is not covered by insurance, so it's quite expensive and a lot of out of pocket. So we didn't have the money to help put them through college. And so now, my first big dream is to pay off their student loans.
Wow.
So
very cool.
And then to get rid of my mom mobile.
Hey, there we go. You're like, it served its purpose, but
yeah, and I am emotionally attached to it, but I think it's time for a Bronco instead,
Man, I love it. But this sounds like these are the steps you're making this year as you enter into the next season of your YouTube journey, is diversifying. Okay, great. YouTube is going, but how can I use that to do other things? Right. And again, to expand your reach. The thing that's great about YouTube is you can reach the world. I literally have had people from Sri Lanka watch my channel. And that is so amazing for especially a person like me who has had the dream of impacting the world in a positive way, Yes. So, and that's one of the other hard things on YouTube is I know I could get greater reach if I went negative, but you have to decide what your values are too when you're going into this. And I am a positive, glass half full, let's see the good in life person. Yeah. So that makes me grow a little slower, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the tribe I want too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you have to have your values aligned and decide where you're not movable. And that was one of the things for me. I'm not movable there. I'm not going to fall into the trenches just to gain subscribers.
Can I just applaud you on that too, real quick? That is massive. And just to encourage our audience too, this is a part of clarity. I love it. We're just on clarity for a whole bit because it matters so much. But I just want to applaud you there. And I know several creators, mentioned some of them in this episode, that I've been able to coach and work with, who are very clear here. And it's interesting. I'm just noticing a correlation between the creators that are firm on certain things and know their beliefs. They even have a belief system. Mm-hmm. They know how they want to be perceived. They're aware of the kind of crowd they want to draw. And those values guide them in their decision making, because I'm sure you've heard, Carrie, like a very common sort of YouTube strategy that I could coach people on is the negative bent. Okay. Yeah. Like, because psychology is proven, all the crazy stuff, right? Like the negativity, we're drawn to it. This is why we look at car accidents. This is why stop signs are red. This is, like why all this stuff is a real thing, because we're drawn to it. But I love you already saying, yeah, that's a YouTube tactic. Sure. But I'm not going to deploy it. Right. That's something that people do, but that's not how I do it. And I just hope that freed up at least 27 people listening right now to be like, no, like you can do YouTube your way. Like you don't have to do it the way, all the strategies that are out there, like this is why at Think Media, we try to like have so many different options, so many different kinds of ways you can go about creating a video. So I love that you shared that. And I think that's a really good teaching moment for someone, that you don't have to just do strategies, especially if they don't feel good for you. You know?
You have to decide, like, what's it worth to you?
That's it.
Could I grow faster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then ultimately when I'm myself, I would lose half of those subscribers anyway, because they won't like me. I'm happy.
Yes, I love it.
I'm happy. I'm positive. I'm joyful. And that's annoying to some people. So that's not my tribe.
Yes. That's right.
But I want the people who want a better life. I want the people who know they can have a better life. And I can help them do that. So,
powerful.
It's just not worth it to me.
Agreed. This final C here, which I would argue is probably the most important, is consistency. And I would love to hear for you as we kind of land the plane here, because you mentioned, hey, I went through a serious dip. Yeah. And serious moments of, I'm sure, questioning things. And I would just love to hear through, how have you learned to persist with this whole YouTube thing, with a full life, with even, health challenges, with just like, to be honest, anyone who wants to do YouTube, the nature of wanting to do YouTube or anything as a side hustle implies it's on the side, which means the plate's mostly full with a lot of other stuff. Mm-hmm. So how have you learned to keep going?
Well, first of all, there's people that depend on me that show up every single week.
Wow.
In particular, I have one who does not fit my avatar. It's a male. He's special needs, and he shows up every single week. Wow. And if I don't respond to him within the hour, he gets very upset. So I have to really pay attention on the mornings that I release a video. But he depends on me. Weirdly, I know, like, that seems odd, but I've learned to care about him. He just really, he depends on me. Because of that, I'm always there. And even if I'm going to post late, I'll go to him and let him know I'm posting late so he doesn't get stressed.
That's so sweet.
But I have other people who are actually my avatar, who actually fit my audience, who they depend on it. They depend on me being there. And I feel a responsibility to be there. And there was a time when I was in that major dip that there were sometimes I would just cry. I didn't want to. I just I don't want to do this. I don't want to have another failed video. I don't want to, and my husband too bad.
Oh, hey, shout out, man.
You made the commitment. That's right. Let's figure it out and do it. But I think consistency is the thing that is don't do it. If you're not going to be consistent, if you're not going to take on a job and then not show up, right? This is a job. This is a responsibility. And, if you say you're going to do it, then show up. And if you're not showing up, you don't get to whine and complain about your channel not being successful. So,
right. Ours. Yep. That's exactly it. It's really good. It's really true. I would love to hear about, so audience is a big thing. What would you say to the person, and even to just yourself, when you didn't have the audience there to hold you accountable and to help you navigate and push through things? There's someone to show up for, there's people to serve. And to be clear, I guess that could be present even when you're just starting. but it's hard when there's kind of crickets, maybe you didn't have a super fan or several super fans who were just there and like ready. How did you move through? It sounds like you obviously had support from family.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I think I had a plan going in. I mean, I knew the first 2 months what I was going to record. And even though I would get some ideas that I would do quickly and just throw up, on my channel, I went in knowing what I wanted to do. And so much so that one video, my first viral type video, I had written down a month prior. And had I done it at that point, I would have been one of the first ones doing it. And it probably would have been a much bigger video than it was, because there were people that were getting 500,000 views on that. And I'm like, I had that idea, but I was so set on my schedule that I didn't do it until like a month later. I'm kicking myself for that now, but
Hey, hindsight's 2020. Yeah, right. You still jumped in.
That's right. I still got my first kind of viral video for me with that video. But yeah,
that's so powerful.
Yeah, so I just think if you're going to do it, you have to decide you're doing it, and nothing can stop you. I have recorded with a migraine, because I had to get the video done.
Yeah,
I've crammed and gotten 5-6 videos done ahead of time because I was going on vacation, or I went on a film set in October and I couldn't do anything while I was there. I was working 12 hours a day.
Wow.
There. And so I had to have it all done. I had to push, for weeks beforehand to get that done, to stay consistent, to be there for my audience. So if you're not going to be consistent, don't do anything if you're not going to be consistent. But especially YouTube rewards consistency.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying
my
that.
daughter is seeing that. She started a channel when she was 11. She has one song. She's a songwriter. She has one song that has over 40,000 views. I think she was 12 when that happened. And, but she never had monetized. But when she went to school, because she had been homeschooled, and she was consistent when she was homeschooled. But once she went to school and then went to college, she just got very inconsistent. So now she's married. She's living in Texas. She decided, I'm getting my 1,000 subscribers. So she started getting consistent. And guess what happened?
What happened? She
hit 1,000 subscribers just because she got consistent. And now she's working on monetization because, she was a kid. She was playing with it. Wow. And I was too sick to be able to study it and learn about YouTube at that point. If I knew then what I know now, she would have had a huge channel. But,
Wow. This is crazy. The big thing I want to thank you for, and then I'd love for you to be able to shout out where people can hang out with you, find you, because I think, obviously here at Think Media, we're helping purpose-driven people use YouTube, building online businesses that are going to fulfill their life and not drain it. And I know you do very similar work. And so I would want to encourage people for you to be able to shout out who you think would be a good fit, where they can find you and where they can keep the conversation going to hang out with Carrie. But I do want to thank you for just being real and having an honest conversation and not trying to overinflate anything. Because you're, at the beginning or a little bit ago, you said imposter syndrome, who am I to talk about whatever? But to your point, where you're at is where a lot of people want to be.
Right.
A channel that wow, I posted a video and it really popped off. To even have a super fan or have people that you're just always there, always in the comments with, you're living a lifestyle that a lot of people want to be able to do. So I know you're on your next chapter, you're in your next season. But I do appreciate you just being real and taking some time and being honest and giving us some hope here, for people who are at the beginning or who could be considering this. So, I'd love it. Yeah. Where could people hang out with you? Where's the best place to find you?
Well, my channel is at Carrie On Coaching, but it's spelled CARRIE on coaching. And, if you're interested in, coaching or, trying to identify your purpose, living your life with passion, you can email me at carries.carryon@gmail.com.
Man, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, last final word, parting words here, Carrie. If someone is quietly thinking, it's too late for me, or I don't know, what would you tell them?
I would say, what is the worst thing that could happen? You've invested $100 into dumber things. You know? Like, just, invest the $100, do your cheap little setup like I did and see what happens. Like, it's fun. It's fun if you allow yourself to just get in and enjoy it. And, Think Media has so much free content that you can use, to start out. But then I highly recommend, as soon as you can, get some coaching, because especially if you're not tech savvy,
Hey, right on. That's,
it
I
might
appreciate
actually get things done.
I love it. Well, hey, and especially if you don't have a son that's well versed, if you need that, we've got someone on our team whose name is Alex.
Right.
He can be your honorary son to help you out. I'm sure he loves being referred to as that. But
That's right.
Carrie,
but
thank you.
Just have fun. Just have fun with it. That's the most important thing. And before you think like I'm too ugly, I'm too this, I'm too this, I hear this all the time. Just look at some of the content creators.
It's real talk. Yeah.
Because there are people of all varying lifestyles and looks and abilities. And some people just, they hit the right niche, and all of that, none of that mattered. So, there's no rule to what you have to look like or sound like or, be. It's just, it's a whole world out there, and your tribe's waiting.
Cheers. Thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing your wisdom here with us. We're, of course, cheering you on, our whole team here at Think Media. Shout out to our coaches who've been able to help you out. And hey, if you are listening, you are interested in what YouTube coaching could even.
Man, that was very, very interesting. That was longer than what I thought. I need to start watching the time. That's an hour-long video, but watch time is perfect. Shout out to everybody who made it to the end of this video. If you made it to the end of this video, that means you are an ender. Shout out to all my enders. I'm gonna get on up out of here. Hey, there's a lot of things to learn about doing a YouTube, but if you just add one thing while you practicing, add one more thing while you practicing. Your practice system should be adding one more thing. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That's a practice. You got, I forgot to say that. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. You got to practice on getting a flow. When you say, hey guys, the title of this video is, shouldn't say that because they should have read it. Or this video is about, and if you're serious about it, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell because I'm going to bring more. When do you say, well, leave me a message in the comment. All these type of things need to be added into your storyline that you're doing. And it takes practice, man. All it takes is practice. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.